Okay, so I started spinning, and when you start spinning, it looks terrible. Well, it looks amazing, but it doesn't look like you have in the store. So I happen to have saved for like years a project in my Ravelry called Viking Princess Capelet, and it looks like it's made of this, and it's a pattern for handspun, and I never had handspun, or it's on this little like 5-year-old, like, she looks amazing. She looks like every like treasured child in history. And so yeah, that really spoke to me, but I didn't have any handspun, and now that I do, I was able to start, but I already know a pattern that suits me. It's just written in for like much skinnier yarn. And I've already made it, but the yarn I made it in didn't hold up, so I had to discard it. So this is what I have so far. I cast on here, and this yarn is so hard because I didn't know how to get it to, it spins, so you have two strands and they spin together. And they should be leaving me and going onto the bobbin, but I didn't know how to get them to go onto the bobbin. So they would just sit there and get more and more and more spun, and I'd like go in and it wouldn't go in. And then I would like unhook everything and hold the strand out like this and treadle until it would like suck onto the bobbin, and then I would get set up again, and then that was just how I worked. And as well, anyway, so that's enough probably information on that. So I cast on a third of the stitches called for, and I started knitting, and once I had this project in mind, these two are my first spinning. They're so hard. They have like, what is it? I don't know, maybe like fingernail, like, what feels like this? Yeah, like zip ties. It feels not sharp, but it feels hard. There's zip ties in there because I didn't know how to stop it spinning. And then I figured it out, and I knew what project I was making, and so I purposely spun this brown and this white very loosely, and it's still got a little bit of I don't know if this will hold up. It kept running through my mind this like video from the Woolery that said not to knit with pure roving, which is just if you didn't spin it at all, and they showed how it just falls straight apart. But I don't think I'm gonna wear this. I mean, I don't think I'm gonna wash this a lot because it's an outer layer, and also if it wears out, I'll just make it again and more because I love making stuff. So this is the pattern. This is like heavily adapted from Across the Waters, which uses short rows to make like one side like gathered up like in Roman times, and one side like drape. This is actually supposed to be the bottom, but then I figured out how to knit with a big yarn. And I started doing it for these bulky ones, which is just instead of like using the needle to like drag and just knit like it was regular, I would place it with my fingers and like tug out with my fingers to get it like more open and less. This doesn't really feel like wood. It's like kind of like when you sit those beaded car mats that you sit against, like it. Yeah. Anyway, so this is supposed to be at the bottom. And it's supposed to, yeah. But because I figured out knitting much more expansively after that, this ended up being the smallest part. And I think what I'm gonna do, let's see. This is 1 ply. Initially, I thought this would be a great project to kind of use my lack of finesse control to my advantage by like portioning out all my yarns based on what I want each part of the scarf to do. And I had thought it would be lighter yarns nearer my face. And this is just 1 ply. It's barely, parts of it are barely spun. And then it's not like this. It's not 2 plies. It's just the 1. And it feels so nice. So so for that reason, it doesn't really work that this hardest, worst yarn would be the closest to my face. And so I probably will pull this out. It's only a couple of 100 stitches, maybe like, yeah, really maybe like 300 stitches. Yeah, because it's so bulky. Then this is the same thing in the Jacob fleece, which is just something like inherent to it that I don't recall the word for right now is scratchier than this one. So a little not ideal that the pattern I'm envisioning has brown close. Oh, you're already knitting with this? Huh. Great. Oh yeah, I ran out. Hello, love bug, you being so good by yourself. I already ran out of brown and had to like run to the spinning mill and make more. So I guess this is the more. And then this was an attempt. This is actually coming along. I'm actually like getting good at, well, good is relative, but look, it's, well, you know what? Yeah, that's yarn. You can make anything with that. And so I really like studied and I read like what to do, and then I did it. Like there's troubleshooting for anything that might be happening with the yarn. And so I spun this as loosely as I possibly could, and I tightened down the thing, the break a lot so that the yarn would leave me, and I treadled so slowly whenever I could remember. Naturally, I'm like, oh, I gotta treadle fast. Yeah, and so kind of, yeah, we won't get into that. And yeah, that worked actually. And my goal was to be able to make a cast on. This is just 1 strand. This whole brown stripe is just the cast on and then no knitting. And I did that so that it would be the width visually that I wanted. But the back looks like this because of the way a purl stitch draws up the next color. You can see it when you change a color. And so that means that to get these wider stripes instead of this more piecemeal look, I have to control whether I'm knitting or purling on the front side. And that means that I have this wider stripe, not because I wanted it, but because I had to get back to the, yes, you're very special. I had to get back to the right stitch. So I thought that a thinner yarn for this getting established row, when you change the color, would then kind of recede. And then when I use the bulkier yarn for a purl row to give it this structure and sticking out, that would look good. So that's what I'm thinking. And then this I did exactly the same for both of these. I knit so loosely, but I think just the staple was really short. Like, doesn't matter. The staple was really short. And so this one, just really asserted itself more, and I couldn't, in order to stop it from breaking. Honestly, that looks pretty good. In order to stop it from like breaking and me having to take everything apart and like get it going again. Oh, that's the same needle. I had to like be giving it a lot more fiber, and so it just came out bulkier, but I still love it. Also, because I'm working so bulky, like I don't even have to keep these. I haven't made a ball of anything this whole time. They just like this is a short enough length of yarn that I can, if I get it all like this, I can just go back through and find an end and like get it like back. So yeah, spinning is going really well. And yeah, this is 2 strands. So I spun twice this length and then I plied them together, and this is like the current best most yarn like I can do from this fiber. And yeah, it's coming along. I'm learning to spin. I made this.